Hey guys, Mecha-san here, and it's time for a death battle! And we have here Korra from The Legend of Korra versus Storm Aurora Monroe, I believe was her full name, from the X-Men. Now, I've fallen out of much of Marvel Comics here, and let's see, Storm, she can control the weather, stuff like that here. She can make it like tornado, a massive monsoon, huge electrical storms, snow and hail. Basically anything which involves like manipulating weather manipulation. But from what I get, that's pretty much it here. It's not like she can cause earthquakes and such. Or, well, she can indeed cause a tsunami if you want to, but that's rather indirectly, because manipulating the storm patterns, stuff like that here could do all that, but she can't really like cause a bend metal, stuff like that here. But Korra can do all that. Plus, if this is her in her full power here, then she's got access to the Avatar state. All the powers of the Avatar before her, all in one, including Aang, which means he should be even powerful than Aang in the Avatar state. And yeah, I have no idea. Let's just watch this, and I'll see what we got. I'll make my decision after I see the analysis.
Avatar Korra, the master of all four elements.
Storm, the X-Men's goddess of the storms.
Yep.
Weather.
The building blocks of our natural world are nothing if not tempestuous and unpredictable.
Which means you gotta be some kind of badass to control them. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Nice pose there, guys.
Avatar Aang, savior of the world, uniter of four nations, destroyer of cabbages. Avatars, after decades of service
Those are
he passed away.
cabbages.
Humanity would have to move forward and prepare his next reincarnation to take up his mantle. But who could fill Aang's shoes? Her name was Korra.
Wiz, who is that?
Did you leave the door open again?
Deuces, gents.
Unlike her
Wait,
carefree
who is-
predecessor, the hot-headed, obstinate
I like that.
Avatar prodigy from day one.
Yep, I'm the.
Avatar, you gotta deal with it.
Well,
Yeah.
he struggled to accept his role in the world. Korra never wanted to be anything else.
Not only is she an expert hand-to-hand fighter on her own,
Yeah, but she had
as a
problem
Korra
with
can manipulate the natural
Aurava
world around her through
Probendi.
martial arts. And as the Avatar, she is the only living being who can bend all four elements at once.
Water, earth, fire, air. Not you.
In the southern water
That joke's getting old.
Tendrils of water form massive walls of ice and generate huge tsunamis.
Aang once raised the sea level to put out these huge fires. Looking at the size of the area
Yep.
and what did it take
Which
to
means-
submerge it, he had to move over 35 million metric tons of water.
And since Korra is a reincarnation of Aang and every past Avatar, she should be just as powerful.
With her
technically a little bit
Korra
more.
can heave big-ass boulders around, shape and control metal, and even tear apart the ground beneath their enemies' feet.
Yeah, she became the first metal-bending Avatar.
She broke up a chunk of a continent, dragged it across a bay, and basically just created a new island named after herself. Queen shit.
By measuring the size of the island to get its mass and the size of the bay to get the distance Kyoshi dragged it, displacing this much rock would require an energy over 21 gigatons of TNT.
Yep.
That's almost 15 times more energy than the entire world's nuclear arsenal detonating at the same time.
Oh, wow.
With firebending, Korra can fire blasts of, well, fire, jet into the sky like a rocket, or breathe like a friggin' dragon.
The
Yep,
perfect
that was-
element to match Korra's hot-headed temper. However, her final element was completely
Oh,
different.
yeah, that
Due
was
to its
hard.
Inherently zen, free-flowing nature, Korra struggled at first to master airbending.
But like all
Yeah,
her strategies,
but eventually she figured it out.
anyways.
With airbending, Korra can shoot powerful gusts of wind, fly around on tornadoes, and create a cute little air scooter.
She used this element to defeat the bloodbender Amon, who was fast enough to dodge lightning.
He's not the only one. Zuko and Iroh have caught and dodged lightning as well, and Iroh even caught one from the sky. The leader of a lightning bolt moves at 60,000 meters per second. Comparing the distance Amon moved relative to the bolt, he must have been moving over 200 times the speed of sound.
Yeah, probably bending his own blood for that too.
Badass martial arts superhero, she also acts as the bridge between the mortal and spirit worlds.
The spirit world is a separate plane of reality, and Korra is stronger while she's physically there. Her direct
But she
connection
can't
isn't
bend.
coincidence. She and every avatar before her are fused with the spirit of light, Rava. Every time the avatar dies and reincarnates, Rava searches out the spirit to
what
bond with their
the-
new body, a staple of Hindu and Buddhist cosmology.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of research into reincarnation, which I'll demonstrate today with Boomstick and this anvil.
Wait,
What the-
Avatars usually reborn into a different nation. So I
That's
set this up
very
to
cartoon right there.
into the nearest vessel. This identical clone body.
Oh!
yes, I feel buddy.
Oh no! Scooby-Doo right there! Whoa! Uh-oh.
Cut off his
Okay, that was weird. Sorry about that, people.
leg and everything.
Speaking
Cut
of
off his leg and everything.
Korra can remove or restore your bending, bring her past lives for advice, and tap into the kick-ass avatar state.
The
Which-
Avatar state massively boosts Korra's raw bending power, turning her into effectively a demigod and the de facto most powerful being on the planet, if she wasn't already.
Despite that, Korra's no stranger to failure. She was
Oh,
severed from
boy,
her
yeah.
connection to the past avatar
And-
was almost killed while in the avatar state, which
Which-
ended her cycle of reincarnation entirely.
That last brush with death left her physically and emotionally crippled for years. Even after physical therapy, her fiery spirit struggled to reignite.
Yeah.
Korra's entire identity
That was harsh.
wrapped up in being the avatar, all the way from day one.
And the biggest trials she had to face were when her place in the world was challenged. Would everyone be better off without an avatar, or bending at all?
But Korra's nothing if not one hell of a fighter.
Who
No matter
knows?
what life threw at her, she always got back up to kick ass.
Korra once blocked an energy blast from a giant spirit cannon, which created this massive crater in the center of Republic City.
And eventually made a
Almost
portal.
Killed everyone.
Taking a look at the width and depth of this crater and assuming it was all vaporized, Korra must have held back a blast worth almost 6 megatons of TNT. More queen shit.
And during harmonic convergence, Korra tapped into enough spirit energy to turn into a giant kaiju and battle the dark avatar Unalaq for the fate of the world.
Oh, yeah.
As I told you, we don't talk about season 2.
Ah.
Day 1 was cool.
From
Okay.
taking
Yeah,
down
season two.
revolutionaries to fascist empires, Korra proved herself as an avatar worthy of her forebearers.
With her teammates Mako and Bolin, teachers like Tenzin and Toph, and badass girlfriend Asami.
Yes.
There was nothing
Girl-
she couldn't do.
Queen shit?
And,
Queen shit.
yep.
Come on, little girl.
And I hate that, because Nickelodeon censorship.
Chump.
Boomstick, do you know what happens to a person who's struck by lightning?
The same thing that happens to everything else.
You got it.
Yep.
You know what happens to white-haired mutants whose parents are killed by a plane crash? They become badass weather
Really? That's what happened, huh?
Aurora Monroe's parents were that. She
Yeah,
was forced
okay.
to fend for herself on the streets of Cairo under the
I knew
tutelage of
that-
Ahmed El-Jabbar.
I knew that part here.
Rat wasn't doing it for Aurora, so she took off across the Sahara in search of a real home.
But that life's also where you met, T'Challa
In the same way
when he
that
was
Homo sapiens, humans,
former queen of Wakanda.
like Homo erectus. Go ahead.
Homo erectus.
Homo superior or mutants are an offshoot of regular humans.
You know, Homo superior. Boy, what that is. So, who was the one who said that? Who like preached that word in the universe here? What? Because it sounds like it could have been Magneto who was the one who decided to just call their the new generation like Homo superior, and it just stuck. Well, I want someone to like tackle this here. Okay, you're Homo superior. What's the next? Then what's the next in line be called? Homo. No. Excellency or something like that. Homo excellency, Homo supremacy. Because yeah, it's like you're constantly evolving. You're not like the last step here. There'll be the next step after you guys, and you guys become, well, essentially last year's model, which is what the Homo sapiens are in this world. And that's the main reason why the humans hate the mutants, because Say what you will, but that is here, because they don't like the fact that we're becoming last year's model. That's also, like, when you think about it, are they truly the next step in human evolution? Especially when you have some mutants whose mutation and powers prevents them from prevent them from being able to sire offspring. It makes them sterile. You can't exactly be the next step in evolution if you can't propagate the species.
They possess the X gene on their 23rd chromosome that effectively grants them superpowers.
But it's a lottery. You could end up like old Beak here.
Or you could end up like Aurora and possess complete control over the weather itself, while being super hot, unlike Beak.
Ouch.
For all she knew, she was a goddess since
X-Men Evolution.
and that's exactly what the local tribes thought when she arrived in her ancestral Kenyan homeland.
Aurora's mutant gene allows her to psionically manipulate the atmosphere.
Lightning, water manipulation, tsunamis, ice storm. That's right.
When she does feel like using conscious thoughts, something whizzes
Across the globe. Oh, for crying out loud! What's wrong with this?
Can create storms that cover the entire Earth.
Her weather manipulation isn't just powerful,
Okay.
it's precise. She can call upon massive tidal waves, conceal herself in fog, and even generate localized blizzards cold enough to freeze lava.
She can summon
Okay.
bolts of lightning, even ones that are continents away, or generate electricity inside your brain. And she once zapped
All right,
Cyclops with enough lightning to restart an artificial sun called the Ring of Fire.
What?
It reminds me of the morning after Taco Tuesday.
It's the Ring of Fire provided all the same energy as a regular storm.
All right, Storm's gonna win.
Her favorite element is probably wind. With it, she can blow people away with tornadoes, suck the air out of a person's lungs, and generate enough lift to fly. She once flew fast enough to reach the edge of Earth's atmosphere from ground level in just a few seconds.
By measuring the angle and size of the Earth to get the distance and estimating a time frame of about 5 seconds, Aurora had to have flown at 4,000 times the speed of sound.
Damn.
She could even manipulate solar winds to fly through
What?
space. Unlike winds on Earth, which are just the movement of air molecules through the atmosphere, solar winds are streams of charged particles, mostly electrons and protons, ejected from the sun.
Almost as crazy as how she can breathe in the vacuum of space.
Yeah, they went
The
crazy.
atmosphere around herself by gathering, stray hydrogen atoms. Atoms, those are like really small last time I checked.
Yeah.
This writer's just giving her whatever powers they
Pretty
want.
much, yeah.
How is
Yeah.
that weather?
Aurora's abilities apply to any atmospheric conditions, whether they be in outer space or alternate dimensions. Essentially, anything even remotely considered weather.
Okay.
I wish I had crazy writers giving me random
Yeah,
superpowers
exactly.
because it's funny.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Well, anyways, I'm gonna
What-
go
what
use
is
my
this?
rocket hands I've always had to get my beer out of the fridge.
What?
Way.
Perhaps her most useful ability, though, is to sense changes in the
Oh, okay.
weather with a pseudo sixth sense.
What's wrong with the player here?
Literally sees atmospheric patterns and energy as colors, with the world as her canvas.
She's
Okay.
so good with it, she could track a jet flying over New York while she was fighting the Shadow King in Wakanda. That's on the other side of the planet. Yeah, no wonder everyone thought she was a goddess.
Aurora
Yeah,
enjoyed
pretty much.
all the worship and admiration until the day she was contacted by an American, Charles Xavier, with an interesting proposal.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Join the X-Men. Oh, pretty please. They were eaten by this living island. It's a long story, but we're short-staffed.
Xavier
Yeah.
founded the X-Men as a team of mutant superheroes that would attempt to mend race relations between Homo sapien and Superior through non-violent means.
Because what better way to teach kids in the 60s about the civil rights movement than with a bunch of good-looking lily-white teenagers with superpowers from upstate New York?
Yeah, pretty much.
Spent enough time blessing the rains down in Africa, Aurora agreed and was assigned the codename Storm.
And she more than earned the spot. She's proven herself worthy to win Mjolnir, led
Really?
the war against the Inhumans,
Really?
and even survived a blast from her
Big
own
tornado
lightning.
visible from
This
space.
is impressive considering
Dodge,
her
beam
lightning
of
is
light.
powerful enough to match
Led her own
Polaris,
team
who
of X-Men,
once used
yeah.
her powers to punch through Earth's
The Fierce
crust
Polaris
all the way to the
sister.
planet's core. Assuming she
Wow.
could the cylinder of Earth all the way
Yeah,
down,
Storm's gonna win. Oh, cry out loud.
exerted over 15 teratons of TNT.
She once beat the mutant Callisto in unarmed combat, and Callisto has apparently mastered every single martial art known to man.
Despite her unbelievable power, Storm
Yeah,
was
thank because the writers went cuckoo.
in hand-to-hand combat. Get it? It also Also, probably didn't hurt that she's fast enough to dodge literal beams of light.
Of course, because who isn't?
After kicking Callisto's ass, she became the queen of these sewer-dwelling mutants
The
called
Morlocks.
She really just couldn't escape being worshipped, could she? Even
Nope.
by grody underground monster people.
Well, she later married the Black Panther T'Challa
And then
became the
divorced.
Queen of Wakanda too.
Yeah.
So she really runs the gamut.
But even demigods have their Achilles heels. That plane crash from her childhood left her crushed under rubble for days, giving her a bad case of claustrophobia that rears its ugly head every once in a while.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's not enough to stop this queen.
Heck, she even got a mohawk and made it work.
Leader of the X-Men, because of course she did.
And
Yep.
when Geordie LaForge eventually
Geordie
came from the
LaForge.
box, the two fought over who would lead the team.
Despite
That mohawk.
literally being able to shoot death lasers from his eyes, Storm kicked his ass. And even better, she didn't even have her powers at the time.
As it should be, because there's no one more devoted to her team than Storm is. She may be an Omega-level mutant, but
Yep.
her greatest superpower is her bottomless compassion.
Mess with her team, and you'll watch as Aurora's heart
Good series right there.
turns to ice as she quite literally steals your breath away.
Testing me. It's time you remembered why they call me Storm.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Yeah, Storm's gonna win. Oh, wow. Now I know why it's one of the many reasons why I stopped reading these Marvel and DC comic books, because writers just went crazy with them, especially like 70s, 80s, stuff like that here. They made them do such ridiculous things that we just kept adding on to it after that here, to the point where it's just, no. Again, this goes back to what I said during in my Iron Man versus Batman reaction here, in which I guess I mean the heroes in both Marvel and DC have grown to the point where I just can't see them losing to like a bullet. It's like, I mean, Storm's a goddess here, yet because she's immortal, she's still technically a flesh and blood. She'll grow old and die. I mean, a simple bullet, technically would kill her, and yet I can't see that ever happening here. Even if she had no powers, so some completely standing restrained and standing still, and it was literally point blank, I can't see her dying from a bullet shot. I just can't. That's the thing. These heroes have grown too powerful that it's just no longer fun. I'm all for. I don't mind being overpowered here, but I did a game where me playing easy, kicking everyone's ass, being OP as shit. Yes, but in the story here, at this point, it's like she can essentially make the gods bow before her. The literal gods bow before her with her power. It's like, hey, Zeus, back away. I'll show you what real lightning is like. And yeah, there's a whole, and yeah, I do remember marriage to T'Challa there. I wish they kind of brought that up here, because yeah, during her life as a pickpocket, that's how she in one way, at least I think the canon way, in which she met T'Challa here when T'Challa was out here to try to part of a trial to become his trial, stuff like that. He went to Cairo and Aurora tried to pickpocket him. He caught her, and love at first sight there. It's kind of cute. To the point where it's like the Wakandans want T'Challa to marry Storm here. I still remember in that webcomic they had going on here of Black Panther. It's like when Storm calls to see T'Challa because he got coordinated. It's like that guy a receptionist says, "Excuse, what's your name? Oh, okay. Hold please. And then T'Challa's uncle comes in. It's like, excuse me, sir, but there is an Aurora on the phone. Want to see the king? Is that someone significant?" He's very significant. Give the phone. It's like, no, she's not significant at all. She's just, oh, possibly the next queen of Wakanda. At the same time, though, you gotta point out the Wakanda's hypocrisy. It's like they're okay with obviously letting this Storm, who is by not Wakandan in any way, shape, or form, be queen, just because of her powers. And they are incredible. And yet, when you look up the fact that there was a half Wakandan who was also a mutant, and the rest of Wakandans ostracized this guy because he was not full-blooded Wakandan. It's like, yeah, hypocrisy much. I mean, I get this, their society here, but for all their claim of being more civilized, no, they have more in common with the rest of the world than they think, and they like to say. So it's no wonder they eventually broke up. And again, I haven't read Marvel comics in years, because it just got tiresome. The only one who kind of remained consistent for the most part was Spider-Man. But even he is like, I won't see him get killed by a bullet. Even though it's possible for him to get injured by a bullet here, especially when like he lost his spider sense. It's like he has remained consistent all throughout here. He has gotten new skill techniques here, but he could still be beaten by some of his classic rogues galleries. I don't know. Alright, but yeah, anyhow, I say Storm. Storm's gonna win. No doubt. Sorry. I mean, seriously, like, Thor wins?
I'm so bored.
Your powers are impressive, but you lack discipline.
I'm the Avatar, master of all elements.
You can't even fly yet. Oh, look, she can fly.
I'll show you what an X-Men can do.
You can't even use airband to fly. Granted, she's using the air to fly. You can't. You can use only fire to like thrust yourself, but it was the other guy who learned how to fly here after being losing all physical connection to the all earthly connections, stuff like that. Okay. Oh, I gotta admit, I like that. They got some fun scenes right here where it shows her a bit of her childish cockiness.
Water, lightning, and airbending? Starting to feel a little less special here.
Yeah. Well, you can metal bend. The spirit world? Oh, the fog! The Sonic!
Where am I? Who are you? Answer me!
Yeah, the fog is actually a spirit itself.
Gotta get out. Scott, Jean, Logan.
I remember that. Oh, yeah, the fog took a bit of a claustrophobia there. Mike! What were you doing to spirit? Oh yeah, because you die. I get the joke, right? This guy.
You're no bender.
Nope. Like, even in the spirit world, the cabbage guy isn't safe. Okay, come on. And you're out. Oh, never mind. Back inside. Ooh, boy. Not bad. The drawing is pretty good. All right, now she went full Avatar state. Okay, she can take more than that.
I know what you are, Spirit of Storms.
Try Goddess of Storms. Oh boy. Oh! Talk about blowing your brains out.
You fought nobly, Avatar.
And I guess the Avatar cycle is no more now.
Hey-o! I think I just queen shit myself.
Queen shit
Wasn't totally
myself.
straightforward. Korra can dominate most fighters pretty easy with her raw bending power and martial arts skills.
What the- they just-
especially with the Avatar
They just
state.
do that
Not
bending?
even some of the best benders on the planet like Zahir and Kuvira could stand up to her at her best.
However, despite Korra's awesome Avatar powers, she found herself outmatched by Storm's skill,
Yeah.
precision, and overwhelming force.
Oh boy, yeah.
Storm's massively hypersonic flight and ability to sense and control weather across the planet meant she could always fight safely from a distance.
Korra's trained in martial arts from birth, but even if she did manage to get in close and fight hand to hand, Storm's experience with the X-Men and defeating Callisto meant she could keep up.
While Korra
Yeah,
may
pretty
have fought
much.
people who can dodge lightning, Storm can
Storm?
dodge literal beams of light.
Yeah.
Even just using her flight speed exiting the atmosphere, she'd still be nearly 20 times faster than Korra.
Korra
Exactly.
did have access to elements like fire and earth that Storm didn't. If she somehow found out about Storm's claustrophobia, she could theoretically trap her in some rocks to exploit it.
But Storm would
Maybe.
be more than powerful enough to just break out. Her lightning was strong enough to match Polaris, who punched a hole in the earth all the way down to its core.
Yeah, ultimately, Storm was just way more powerful.
Yep,
Remember that
essentially.
planet-sized storm she created? Well, I know clouds are lighter.
At this
than
point,
air, but
Omega
those are a
level?
shit ton of clouds.
Is
It
there-
did a lot
this-
of work to move around.
By measuring their volume and the speed at which they moved, the energy Storm needed for this would be over 500 exatons of TNT.
Oh, boy.
About 250 times more powerful than what Korra could output.
And considering
Well,
this
we
is
don't
the
know
same
that,
woman who
but-
was powerful enough to reignite an
But yeah,
artifact
that-
star, results like that aren't outliers.
Even
Exactly.
the Spirit World wouldn't have helped, considering Storm has manipulated alien weather from outer space and alternate dimensions. She'd have no problem adapting there, and considering Storm's powers are genetic in nature, not spiritual,
Yeah.
Korra would not be able to depower her with energy bending.
And none of that is counting the ways Storm could have ended the fight right off the bat, like sucking the air right out of Korra's lungs or generating a lightning storm in her brain.
Korra was a tenacious, unrelenting opponent. But Storm's massive range, precise control, deadly skill, and
Deadly
unbelievable
skill.
power won her this fight.
Don't get bent out of shape. Korra just couldn't weather the storm.
That was okay. Yeah, we're a storm. Oh boy, it's like how many people wanted to see this matchup? And of those people, how many knew that obviously Korra was gonna get decimated by? At this point, you can't even call Storm an Omega level mutant. She is beyond that. She's a god. Like I said, she's a goddess by all intents and purposes. I wouldn't be surprised if she'd be welcome in the halls of Valhalla of Asgard or something by Thor's entire family. Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, she was willing to wield Mjolnir,
Even more action, you should check out the new season of
which I did not know that, by the way.
Starring Michael B. Jordan, Dakota Fanning, and David Tennant in a fast-paced animated series inspired by mecha anime.
Next time is all right. We got Madara versus Aizen. Okay, I got no stick in that one. Will you stop autoplaying? So, other than sorry about the buffering issues, people. I don't know what happened there. All right, so yeah, well, they got this one here. Storm 1 and it was obviously from the basic analysis alone here. The discrepancies of power and power and accomplishment and everything was night and day. And it also reminded me again why I just stopped reading all these mainline comic books. Just, meh. It's ridiculous what they can do right now here to the point where, so yeah, they have to be they have to literally be fighting Omega level threats all the time, all day, every day, in order for me to, like, in order to stand a challenge here. And the only other option for that, the only other alternative is, well, they have to deal with politics, stuff like that here. Which I'd actually, you know what? I'd actually like to see that here. You know, in the X-Men movies here, the original ones here, we see how Beast got a political place, becoming like a senator or something, and like the president, stuff like that. I would actually watch Beast just be the political field and just try to help mutants right here. I can just see him like in his office there when he's has time of day, hanging upside down, reading Shakespeare like he did in the movie, and with glasses, like signing forms. I'd actually see all that here because it's Beast. But that's it. Storm. Yeah, you know what? I like to see her deal with the politics of Wakanda. And like, if she's as queen, I want to see what she did here, because she did try to encourage Wakandans to at least be more open. For all good that did. So, and I know that, oh boy, I remember where she was hesitant to become queen, but then Charles sort of like prompted her because it could help mutant kind if she was like queen of this incredibly advanced nation. Playing the political field. Oh well, so everyone, thank you for watching. As always, comment below what you all thought. Like, subscribe for more videos. Till next one, this is Mecha-san, logging out.